Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Parenthood Spotlight. This is our space where once a month we pause and shine a light on parents who are building something meaningful for children, not just for their own families, but for many others as well. Today's guest is someone who has created something I find deeply beautiful in its intention. Khushboo Goel, founder of The Hush Tree, describes it as a quiet anchor in a child's fast moving world, a place where children can grow with awareness, purpose, and strong lifelong habits that nurture their mind, body, and soul. It's a space that blends books, nature, reflection, goal setting, emotional intelligence, and community. Almost like a second family that helps children stay close to their conscience while learning how to navigate the real world. Khushbu believes in helping children live with purpose, lead with passion, and act with character. Khushbu, welcome to Parenthood Spotlight. I'm so glad you're finally here.
Oh, I mean, it's my pleasure. It's beautiful to be here. It's always beautiful to talk to you, connect to you, but
Thank you.
being here, it's my pleasure. Entirely
Thank you,
my pleasure.
Khushbu. Thank you. Before we talk about the hush tree, I'd love to start with you. Tell us a little about the person behind this vision. Who is Khushbu beyond the title of the founder?
Oh, I mean, beyond the title of the founder, that's a very small part of me.
Hmm.
Um, Khushbu, I think majorly when I think about myself, am I'm majorly formed by the childhood that I had.
Yeah.
Everything that I am today, everything that I do with my child, the way I deal with my child, everything that the hush tree is, the kind of equation that I share with my husband, the decisions that I take in my life, I think essentially Khushbu is what built her in the first 17 years of her life.
Wow.
Everything stems from there. So, um, I was born in a very loving joint family setup. So everything, the way I saw relationships developing, people loving each other, has become the essence of everything in my life.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm very simple at heart. Nothing materialistic excites me. I
Yeah.
love adventure. This person is simple at heart, wants the basic things in life, but wants everything to be led with calmness.
Hmm.
So I think if there is one word that I feel connects or I resonate the most with, that's either sunlight or calmness.
Wow.
I may not exhibit them in all situations of life, but those are the things I really gravitate towards.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So, yeah, these are the things I try to filter in every situation of my life.
Yeah.
Essentially,
And,
that.
and you spoke about your childhood. So, what was your childhood like?
Neha, I was born in a family. I mean, the house that I was born in, it had 90 people living together or more. I mean, the
Wow.
time when we counted, it was 90. Seven families living in a big Haveli, like the
Hmm.
Agrawal families are. But the thing that differentiated us was my father's uncles, their families. A lot of people lived in one big Haveli. So
Hmm.
there were floors on which people had the whole setups, the houses,
Yeah.
the houses. So I was born into that big joint family setup, which could have been a place where I could have witnessed a lot of fights and all. But what I witnessed was completely different to what I had heard or I usually heard in my childhood from my friends.
Yeah.
A very loving, connected setup where different families were helping each other. A lot of occasions were celebrated on the terrace या फिर जो बीच का आंगन होता है उसमें सब बैठ के खा रहे हैं. Every day felt like a party. अगर मेरे
Hmm.
एग्जाम्स हैं तो someone else would try to quiet the children up कि खुशबू is studying so सब चुप हो जाओ. Everyone was just टेकिंग थिंग्स फॉर ईच अदर. किसी के घर में
Hmm.
गेस्ट आ रहे हैं तो इफ देयर इज अ सडन एंट्री ऑफ अ गेस्ट इन लेट्स से आवर प्लेस, मम्मा वुड टेल एवरीवन कि हमारे ना फटाफट से 10 मिनट्स में ये लोग आने वाले हैं. माई चाची वुड ब्रिंग इडलीज, someone would bring something, and by the time the guest arrived there would be 3 4 dishes. तो हमेशा
Hmm.
ऐसा होता था, people who would come to our house they would say आप इतनी जल्दी कैसे रेडी कर लेते हो.
Hmm.
So that was the environment at home. Many kids, a lot of kids of
Hmm.
every age group.
Hmm.
I was being guided by some elders, my chachas, and everyone. I became that protector for the younger ones in the family. We never felt that we had only one mama.
Hmm.
There were so many of them taking care of all of us, and we
Hmm.
never felt differentiated.
Hmm.
वो था ही
Hmm.
नहीं कि मम्मियों की लड़ाई होती है बच्चों के लिए. सब 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 सभी के बच्चे थे. तो आई व्हेन आई इमेजिन माई सेल्फ इन दैट सेटअप and I see how everything has changed, or probably it was not the same even then.
Yeah.
So uh, that formed my childhood.
Hmm.
प्यार ही प्यार, प्यार ही प्यार, प्यार, इतना प्यार. So, and people helping each other without really thinking much about their own finances. So, a lot of times when people take decisions now, or even we think about money also, कि हम इतना ज्यादा कर रहे हैं या ऐसे. वो कुछ था ही नहीं. Your
Hmm.
guests are my guests. Your time is mine. I mean, it was all shared. So
Hmm.
that formed my childhood, and it shaped every identity, every part of my identity. Along with everyone else in my childhood, the people living close by, the people in my, like, the close setup were my dadi, meri
Hmm.
amma, mama, papa. My dadi is also someone who never really talks bad about anyone. She helps everyone. She speaks good about everyone. She is there for everyone. So that I learned from him, how you could just be relaxed, help others, and not expect anything in return. Or mama, papa, mummy, papa are chilled out people. They never
Hmm.
forced us on studying or anything. So जो उनकी आपस में equation थी, and the way they dealt with people,
Hmm.
that formed me.
Yeah. 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 And were you always someone who felt drawn towards working with children, or did that emerge later in life?
No, I think I always wanted to. When I was a kid, I remember I used to wish to say that I want to become a teacher
Hmm.
when I grow up.
Hmm.
But I was good at studies.
Hmm.
And generally, I never saw people dreaming about becoming a teacher. So I remember I would hold back that thought.
Hmm.
कि टीचर क्या मैं एक छोटी सी चीज सोच रही हूँ. So it was always there.
Right.
I felt that I had an impact whenever I talked to kids. तो क्योंकि there were so many kids in the family also, and in the nearby areas, I mean the neighborhood, I had an opportunity to deal with kids.
Yeah.
So I used to be that person जो बीच बीच में बच्चों के साथ बैठ जाती थी, and whatever I would know, I would just tell them.
Hmm.
I used to see the impact, or the family members would say कि खुशबू ने समझाया था, अभी ने समझ आ गई बात. I
Hmm.
saw that yes, I loved it, loved being around kids, and even when I was a kid,
Hmm. Hmm.
whatever I knew how to make an impact by delivering it to children. So I knew that there was something I had better in me in
Hmm.
comparison to the people I saw around.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, it was always there.
Yeah, yeah. And about motherhood, you've spoken about how motherhood feels very natural to you, almost like a place where you found the best version of yourself. Can
Yes.
you tell us about that transition into motherhood?
Uh, yes, I think motherhood, I thought motherhood is going to be very easy for me.
Hmm.
But the first 1.5 year was only logistics,
Hmm.
admin things to be
Hmm.
done. So
Hmm.
I was not expecting that. I didn't see that coming. But otherwise, now after he turned 1.5 to now he's 3.5, dealing with a child who can who you can enjoy with.
Hmm.
So that comes naturally. So motherhood is something that I've always felt. doable. I
Hmm.
never felt it to be something that scared me at any point.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
And let's now talk about the hush tree, the way you describe it, a quiet anchor in a child's fast moving world. That
Yeah.
itself is such a beautiful image. Where did the idea first come from? Was there a particular moment or experience that made you feel something like this needed to exist?
No, I think it was always there.
Hmm.
When I was growing up, I knew I loved to connect to kids. I also realized at that time that there were so many things which are so important to
Hmm.
be taught at a certain time to a child.
Hmm.
But what we were teaching our kids was entirely different. They were learning about solar system and not their own bodies. They were learning about Japan. They were not learning about the city that they are living in. So I always felt a disconnect. I didn't know what I will actually create,
Hmm.
but I knew that there is a huge gap in what kids should learn at a certain age versus what they were learning.
Right.
They were learning about far away things, distant things, but not really things that were very important and very close to them.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So that was always there. I kept growing, took this whole path of engineering, working, MBA. The thing would always be in my mind, but that became a background sound. I would take up sessions here and there. The good thing is, at every point in my life, whether I was pursuing engineering or working or doing MBA, I always had some kids who I was teaching something.
Yeah.
Whether those were underprivileged children or the houses we went to nearby, or when I came back for my holidays, I would just teach. I was always involved in that,
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
teaching, guiding kids.
Hmm.
Um, and then when I started working post my MBA, we were in Gurugram. And then I felt an urge to see what's happening in schools these days. Has it changed? And can I take some sessions on weekends?
Yeah.
Then I started visiting schools. I took a few sessions in some schools and realizing that the things that were missing at my time, a lot of them are still missing in
Yeah.
the curriculum of schools. I mean, the schools have changed their course, curriculum, a lot of things also. But I still felt a huge gap in, the key word is here timing. If a
Hmm.
child is in standard three, there are certain things that the child should learn first instead of some big things that they usually learn when they are
Yeah.
standard three. So, yeah, so what we are teaching or guiding kids in the Hush Tree today um, kind of became a entire system with time.
Hmm.
However, I always envisioned the Hush Tree to be that place where children feel a sense of belonging
Hmm.
while inspiring each other and being guided on building a very solid foundation of their own, which means the roots of kids should be so solid that whatever that they picked in life, they do it well. The
Hmm.
their core is very strong, whether related to the value system that they have or the habits, the powerful habits that they form
Hmm.
while providing a sense of belonging to kids. So yeah.
So,
um,
so
mhm.
tell me, Khushbu, what is the hush tree? Like, what is it? School? Is it like a family? Is it an alternate school? Is it a co-curricular activity school? What is it?
So it's not a school. It's an after-school journey that a child takes.
Hmm.
Starts with 1 year long journeys that children take. We've recently named it as the Hush Fellowship. That
Mm-hmm.
1 year journey that a child, uh, when the child becomes a part of the journey, it is then they are guided, handheld, and given opportunities to build their own foundation.
Yeah.
It's an after school program that children take. And yes, through the way the learnings are imparted to kids and the opportunities that they get and the sense of community that they feel in each other, inspiring each other to walk the right path,
Hmm. Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
So that is what the history is.
Yeah. And tell me why the name the hush tree? What does the metaphor mean to you?
Hush means calm.
Hmm.
Tree represents something which is growing.
Yeah.
So a calm tree connecting to children. Tree represents kids, and hush represents a calm child. So essentially, I wanted to say a mindful child
Hmm.
who's very clear about the purpose of their life, the things that they do, how they do, what they do, why they eat a certain thing, everything. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what inspired you to bring all these elements together in the Hush Tree? Like, you talk about books, nature, presence, values, emotions, confidence, purpose, all of these things, which we are as adults rediscovering in our lives in a
Yes,
way.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
I think things were always there. I was pretty clear. And I mean, we the adults usually talk about these things. You very rightly said. I was thinking about it a few days back. The things that adults are putting all their time, energy into developing, which means atomic habits,
Yeah.
is something which we do not do when during the childhood part. Because if they are done, the habits are going to become so rigid
Hmm.
that it is going to ease every aspect of a child's life.
Yeah.
So I think everything that became a part of this journey that children take was something I was always clear. We need to help children open up about their emotions in their most raw form. There needs to be a place where they can come and talk about what happened in the day.
Yeah.
And if 10 kids do it together, they'll find, and since these kids do not live near each other, they do not
Hmm.
share a school. So they have very little fear of things leaking also. They
Hmm.
are very honest when they talk about, when there are sessions on emotions. I don't lead them, the kids lead it. So if
Hmm.
they share about different things and it heals, it's very healing
Hmm.
because they know if something is bothering them, it's bothering everyone and how to deal with it, knowing
Hmm.
that from a child. So, this particular thing, the importance of focus, promises, making promise to oneself and sticking on it, building very tiny habits like brushing at night, it's going to ease the entire life, it's going to keep your teeth healthy. So, I always was clear. The structure was not very clear to me when
Hmm.
how do I bring it all together?
Hmm.
How do I
Hmm.
make sure that when a child becomes a part, they do it
Hmm. Hmm.
because we these are very small habits which only parents can track.
Yeah.
So to create a system that makes sure that kids do it and there is a proper ecosystem around it, that took effort and time. But otherwise, I was clear on how to deliver.
Yeah, yeah. And like I am just thinking about the structure and how in today's world children's lives are often very fast paced, one from one class to another to another to
Right.
another, and then this is time, and bedtime. So everything is kind of slotted. So
Yes.
in that kind of a world, what does it mean to create that kind of space for them where I love the wording that you've said, that quiet anchor. What does it mean to be the quiet anchor for them?
So it reflects in every part of the system, how the connect with children happen,
Hmm.
the the things that they take back, the activities that they do as a part of the system, the opportunities that they get. Everything is pretty the way I talk to kids. A lot of times, uh, parents, in fact, they say it feels different. My child feels different. My child looks different. I mean, they look different.
Hmm.
Children catch energy.
Hmm.
That is how it is done. I mean, the way the content or the curriculum has been designed, it's designed so that there is not a lot to deliver,
Yeah.
but a lot more to take from them.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
talk, they discuss. Habits and values are not something which they don't know.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
know what are the good things, what are bad things. The main thing that we try to do through the history is, can we inspire them to do all these things every day,
Hmm.
make it their lifestyle, and can we be the reason why they do it every day? So that's
Yeah.
These are the two things. And yeah, the what was I saying? Calm place ना, हाँ, how to quite anchor. So yeah, मैं भूल ही गई जो मैं बोल रही थी.
कोई बात नहीं. I can ask you another question and maybe it will come back. So tell me, what you talk about habits, you talk about values. What are some of the habits or values you hope children carry with them when they grow through spaces like the Hush Tree?
I think one very essential habit that I try that everyone picks up is plan their week
Hmm.
or day. If
Hmm.
that is something a child has always been doing since their childhood, it really simplifies their life when it gets even busier.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if during the weekend, that is something we do in the weekend connect. We make children sit and write of what are they expecting this week to have. What
Wow.
are the things that they are going to do? What are the activities, the family things that they are going to they wish to do over the weekend? And a lot of time when they write that, they actually do it because now
Hmm.
parents know कि सैटरडे को ना हमें सबको क्रिकेट खेलना है साथ में.
Hmm.
So things happen also.
Hmm. Hmm.
When there is a weekly plan, which may not be robust for kids, still they have a bit of idea on what is
Idea.
up, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
अगर वो आइडिया की आदत लग जाती है, then it is very hard to miss it. हम वो restless होने लग जाते हैं. If you and me every weekend we write before we start our week, और हमने नहीं किया किसी वजह से, we become very restless. So that is something I wish everyone could have.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then the habit of reading books
Hmm.
is also something. I mean, it should come very naturally, like, and it the ecosystem is also missing in houses.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, a lot for a lot of habits. I think the ecosystems are not developed in the houses. तो उसकी absence में it becomes a one time activity. Book पढ़ ली,
Hmm.
अच्छा रख दो. Then
Hmm.
so it's like that. Reading है ऐसी. ऑल्सो ये चीज जो मैं थर्ड बोलने वाली हूँ, ये बहुत ज्यादा होती नहीं है, but I wish if that was a case in every house. I see the houses, the mornings in majority of houses being very noisy, busy,
Hmm.
chaotic,
Rushed.
very rushed.
Hmm.
um I've always felt that as adults, like to start our day in peace, even if it is 10 minutes of yoga or 10 minutes of walk or some shanti wala type. It really sets the tone for the whole day. I wish that and we try to do it through the journey at the Hush Tree also, कि बच्चों को naturally ऐसा लगने लग जाए कि as soon as they wake up and then the freshening up, all those things are done, they spend, if they have 5 minutes, they spend on stretching their bodies or just doing yoga. Then natural, their bodies start wanting it.
Hmm.
Once children start doing it, probably the families will also start creating a routine around it. So first 5-10 minutes of physical activity or peace in the morning.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
these are tiny things that I wish every house could have. Journaling is another one.
Hmm.
फैमिली टाइम विदाउट फोन्स इज अनदर वन. दिस ये बहुत अच्छी एक्टिविटी होती है ना, कि अपने फोन्स को डिपॉजिट करो एक प्लेस में एंड देन द होल फैमिली सिट्स टुगेदर. इसमें बहुत ही सारी है. आई थिंक
Hmm.
इट्स जस्ट द इकोसिस्टम दैट कैन बी क्रिएटेड इन द हाउस.
Yeah. And when you speak of children, how old are these children?
These are 7 to 13 years of age. We've
Wow.
reduced the age to 6 years, also 6 to 13,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
means
Hmm.
standard 2 to standard 8.
Right. 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 And tell me, Kushbu, when you're trying to build intentional habits and values, both at home and at the Hush Tree, how do you balance guidance with letting children discover things on their own?
Um, like, give me an example of
Like,
like,
how do you, so for example, how do you balance between instructing and
right,
children discovering things on their own? Like, for example, brushing their teeth is a very transactional thing that I'm talking
right.
about, and instructing them कि आपको brush करना है, हर रात को brush करना है, हर सुबह brush करना है, vis-a-vis they discovering cause and effect, that if you don't brush your teeth it leads to cavities, it leads to whatever,
Mm,
whatever, and then that's why
mm,
you should brush. So, and they discovering it there on their own. Some things have to be told, because
right.
if I wait for my kid to discover that
Ah,
not brushing the teeth will lead to that, it
right.
will be too late. So, what
Yeah.
are those things which are needed to be told versus they can be discovered?
Um, I think जैसे अभी brushing का ही we took an example of brushing the teeth. Some things are so important that there is little need of them discover, like eating good food,
Hmm.
eating healthy food. One way of doing it could be letting them discover how wrong food is affecting their body, which starts happening after very long. I mean, after you reach
Yeah.
20 years of age is when everything that you've consumed in the early years of life starts showing up in different ways.
Yeah.
But these are essential things which need not have experiments in it. The
Hmm.
way they do, once a child starts doing it,
Hmm.
this happened with me. My mama used to brush morning, evening, night,
Hmm.
both times. I had a habit of brushing only in the morning. बस
Hmm.
ऐसा था कि I just didn't pick it up पहले.
Yeah.
When I picked it up, brushing at night, I did for, let's say, 1 month in the beginning, and the day I missed it, I
Hmm.
felt bad.
Hmm. Yeah.
But prior to that, the many years I was not brushing at night, it just didn't bother me. मुझे
Hmm.
नहीं पता था कि रात को ब्रश ना करने से what are I feel better, my mouth feels better. Of course, it feels cleaner, वो तो है ही. But there are some things if children experience and then they experience the not doing it, then they feel the difference. But
Hmm.
कोई चीज that has become a part of their system, there is very little they don't feel the gap in it.
Hmm.
Exactly how healthy food would do. Eating unhealthy food has never really bothered kids,
Hmm.
but they need to know. And one more thing about healthy food हमने जैसे बात करी है. My child is 3.5 years old. Earlier, I used to tell him when he wanted a packet of chips because they are everywhere. हम
Hmm.
बाहर निकलते हैं, there are chips and chocolates hanging everywhere. He wants it. Of course, it's tasty. I used to use the word ये बेटा healthy नहीं.
Hmm.
Slowly, after two, three times, I started realizing he doesn't understand this word healthy or unhealthy. उसको नहीं
Hmm.
मालूम है. It's only the habits that I can build in him with which he'll start realizing कि मतलब हो सकता है कि I may not make him detest these things. But probably I can create a system in the house with which those things become very minimal part of his life.
Right.
So I understood healthy मैं उसको समझाऊंगी. With
Hmm.
time, he may understand. But right now, he wants instant happiness.
Yeah.
He doesn't wait for 20 years or कि कैसे affect होगा. He doesn't know all of these things. So yes, to answer your question, there are a lot of very important areas
Hmm.
which how they do it, it's completely on their own. What you wish to journal, what you wish to write, how you wish to present your thoughts is completely a child's take.
Hmm.
But there are some things which, if you do, they are going to ease out every area of your life, make your life
Hmm.
simple, then do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's not pressurized करना ही है. It's
Hmm.
done in a manner कि चलो अब हम ये वाली दो habits इस month build करके देखें and let's see
Hmm.
what change it brings.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
in that manner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And one thing that stands about the Hush Tree is the idea of it being a second family for children.
Right.
Why is building community such an important part of your vision?
So, building community of kids, that's one, and building community of kids who are walking the good path
Hmm.
is actually the community I wish to create.
Hmm.
I have always envisioned this that there is this solid community of kids across the world who want to do right things in the right manner, have right thinking, eat the right food, do the right things. So, if kids could find that space somewhere where they all could come together to be good because wrongs are everywhere.
Hmm.
Could there be one place that inspires them to do to pick up the right things?
Hmm.
in the way they speak, deal with things, all of that. So that's always been a wish कि ऐसा हो जाए, मजा आ जाएगा. And majorly, so there is this one community. तुम्हें do you know about सहज मार्ग और
No.
रामचंद्र मिशन, श्री रामचंद्र मिशन में सही नाम बोल रहे हो ना? हम्म,
नहीं.
नहीं. So this is a community that brings together people to meditate together.
Hmm.
मैं मेंबर नहीं हूँ. मेरी दादी थी, मेरी दादी
Hmm.
है,
Hmm.
मेरे दादाजी भी थे. Both of them found a calm in it. And after one generation, now my brother picked it up. So they love connecting to this. So besides everything that's a part of the community of that system, people come together and meditate. But what I loved about that particular community and how it brought, I mean, it made me even more fascinated about creating community was these people find their people everywhere, no matter where they go
Hmm.
in the world.
Yeah.
So my brother shifted to US and then he found his own people. ऐसा
Hmm.
लगता ही नहीं है anywhere you are alone.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
combine together on a common cause. जैसे if you and me talk to each other कि इंडिया से हो, okay, हाँ, and there
Hmm.
is suddenly a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wished what I saw there also, that all the abhyasis, they call each other abhyasis, all the abhyasis, whenever anyone comes to know, अरे आपने भी हमने भी, and
Hmm.
suddenly there is हमारे घर आना.
Hmm.
That's how
Hmm.
my brother also built his community everywhere.
Hmm. Hmm.
मेरी दादी भी ऐसा, she doesn't feel out of place in any city in India. हर जगह लोग होते ही हैं उनके अपने.
Hmm.
It's so rich in
Yeah.
the times that we are today to do not have any trust barrier
Yeah. Yeah.
because they are bound by our common thought. So वो चीज उससे भी थी. And
Yeah.
also goodness. Hmm.
Yeah. And tell me, like, as adults, we can appreciate the value of community because we've been through this whole cycle and all of that. But tell me, actual children, when they come to the programs and they are hush fellows, if we may call them,
Yes,
how
yes.
do those children respond when they find themselves in a space where they're encouraged to slow down, reflect, and connect?
One common word that I've heard from everyone, one common line that a lot of kids have said is, uh, I feel good about myself.
Hmm.
I feel confident.
Hmm.
Because whenever there is a discussion on communication is never about stage पे बोलना अच्छे से.
Hmm.
It's about what you feel is what you speak.
Hmm.
If in a situation you wish to speak, speak. If you don't wish to speak, fine.
Hmm.
And naturally they start opening up or taking
Hmm.
stand for themselves or speaking what their heart says. So this is one line that I've often heard children from parents. We do get to hear ki regularly they've started reading. They feel they wish to they kind of being feel pulled towards
Hmm.
doing good things.
Hmm.
Like there is one segment in the program which is about emotions and mindful communication, wherein children have to sit with their any set of grandparents, any one grandparent, and interview the grandparent.
Hmm.
I can't think of any better activity to teach mindful talking and bring families together.
Hmm.
Those interviews, I'm going to share some of the links also with you, Neha.
Yeah.
Those are so beautiful. दादी, बहुत बच्चों की दादी हिंदी में ही बोलती हैं. एक there was one interview I saw the दादी and the grandchild conversing in Gujarati.
Hmm.
Now the child wants to know about the childhood of Dadi.
Dadi. Hmm.
What were the what did they do as children, friends, मस्ती कौन सी करते थे, पिटाई कितनी हुई है उनकी, और जब बच्चे का बर्थ हुआ, how was the experience of दादी. And in a lot of interviews dadis have cried, दादी नानी दादू, they've cried because ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ कि बच्चे ने इतने डिटेल में have sat, talked to the grandparent about their own childhood,
Hmm.
took them 40, 50 years back
Hmm.
to their very जो वो टाइम्स होते हैं ना जिनके बारे में बात ही करने बंद कर देते हैं. सो दीज थिंग्स आई मीन bring emotion, bring more emotion, mindful communication into it. So there are such activities जो automatically they make kids and parents feel different.
Yeah. 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 And I'm thinking about you as I speak, Khushboo. Like I'm thinking about you building something like the Hush Tree, and it must come with its own moments of doubts, fatigue, or invisibility. So tell me about those parts. Tell me about the parts of this journey that people don't see or talk about enough.
Um, I think the biggest challenge I faced in this journey has nothing been external.
Hmm.
It's only been internal. All the things that I wish all children to develop are the things I have uh, also struggled in my
Hmm.
everyday life.
Hmm.
When you pick up your own work,
Hmm.
entrepreneurship, there is no deadline.
Yeah.
There is pressure, but there is no external pressure.
Right.
Every weakness that is there in your own personality starts showing up.
Hmm.
If you are a bad planner, your work gets affected. So I think for my work, the challenge or the doubt that I had to deal with was establishing all those things in a very solid manner in myself.
Hmm.
Be disciplined about the targets that you set. Be very consistent with whatever things. Some things take time to show results, but am I जो हम बच्चों को बोलते हैं लगे रहो, be determined, though there are times when you feel low.
Yeah.
Now you are telling kids कि होता है. So
Hmm.
I started deriving strength from that. नहीं, जब मैं छोटी थी ना, I think I was born with a lot of talents.
Hmm.
I was good in singing, drawing, but I kept losing touch from one thing to another.
Hmm.
So, and because I didn't really nurture those very essential areas of my personality, हमारा घर में सब मस्ती बहुत होती थी, पर ऐसा नहीं था कि पंक्चुअलिटी, भाई पंक्चुअल तो तुम्हें रहना ही है.
Hmm.
ऐसा नहीं था, पापा ही बहुत सारे काम कर देते थे. So those things started to show up when I left house.
Hmm.
So yeah, the major challenge at work, in my own work, because prior to this, everything had deadlines, everything had
Hmm.
some D-days. This doesn't come with a D-day. I decide the D-day.
Hmm.
That's been the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And knowing that you have, if you really wish it, passion was always there, but execution wise, these things some days were very good and I felt very happy. Some days when things were not moving, why am I feeling very bad? वो सब चीजें I had to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing.
Hmm. Hmm. And like I touched upon it earlier, but I'm also thinking about the world that we live in today. Children today are growing up in a very different world from the one we knew. What do you think as children they need the most right now?
What do children need the most right now? I think calmness.
Hmm.
They see rush,
Hmm.
they rush.
Hmm. Hmm.
They are made to believe that you have to jump from one class to another, rush to learn one thing to another without those pockets of introspection, calmness, peace, in between. मैं ये बहुत meditative point of view से नहीं बोल रही हूँ, but मैं ऐसे ही बोल रही हूँ कि just having that space of reading for 45 minutes without too much noise about everything in the house.
Hmm. Hmm.
I see a lot of noise around everything.
Hmm.
Even if there is one topic about, let's say, physics that is to be learned, पहले वो स्कूल में पढ़ रहे हैं, फिर ट्यूशन में पढ़ रहे हैं, फिर नेट पे पढ़ रहे हैं, फिर मम्मा पढ़. For every small thing, I think there is a lot of noise. If we
Hmm.
shut the noise and just do the thing,
Hmm.
it's actually easy. Many things are very easy.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
so yeah, I think we can guide kids. We can't teach. It's only the environment in the family that can actually make kids live that life. But just to know um, that we that there is no need to ooh, rush,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
learn,
Yeah.
feel, do, learn, feel, do.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And as you said, like we can guide as external people. It's only families and the internal systems that can kind of shape their outlook. So, what role do parents play in shaping this kind of non rushed or hushed ecosystem at home?
Hmm. Um, a lot of reactions of so far I've realized that parents have their reactions stemming from two, three things. One, how they saw their parents deal with different things. That forms a base of how a parent would react to their children, or even if they, not only what they saw their parents say, but
Hmm.
also the kind of life that their parents had created. That's one. Second, the workplace of a parent, the work ecosystem of a parent. अगर वो बहुत, if it is draining them out, leaving 1 hour or so with the child, so automatically there is very little, number one, that the parent gets to do in this whole system. And then their reactions will be what they have also accumulated in those 23 hours outside, like without the child. So, and then the equation between partners. Are the
Hmm.
partners aligned or not?
Hmm.
ये दो तीन चीजें हैं. I saw my parents being very calm. There were situations when which were completely unfavorable. बहुत ही basic. And my father would never blame anyone, never shout. He would be calm. हर चीज को हंस के बोलते थे, अरे ये हो गया, चल ठीक है, कोई नहीं, देखते हैं क्या करें.
Hmm.
ऐसा रिएक्शन होता था. I never saw him raise his voice. Mama was also always very chilled out. Whatever resources were there, ऐसा नहीं था. We were not. I was not born in abundance of resources. Resources were limited, very middle class. But give ही रहता था. So bring आता भी था.
Hmm.
They would give, they would get love. ऐसा था. So saw mama also create happy thing out of everything. कुछ भी हो रहा है, mama is happy, so we are happy. So that got into me. Now that completely defines how I deal with my child.
Hmm.
My husband had a very different upbringing,
Hmm.
starkly different upbringing. He did not get to live with his parents very early on. He had to move outside of the family and live with his uncle for education.
Hmm.
He must have been this age, which my child is 3.5,
Oh, wow.
or he had to leave house.
Hmm.
So his childhood was not really childhood. When
Hmm.
you live with some other set of parents who you can't really, वो होता है ना, हम छोटी छोटी wishes के लिए बोलते हैं. It was completely different than mine, and his responses speak that.
Hmm.
Earlier, we used to have disagreements on how we deal with different situations related to our child.
Yeah.
And I would tell him to ease out, to be chill. That never came naturally to him. When I
Yeah.
thought about it and I sit and think about it, तो मुझे समझ आने लगा धीरे धीरे how he is also defined by a lot of childhood experiences he has had. So now I give it time कि ठीक है, धीरे धीरे, and seeing the result of how I deal with my child, he has also start easing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, he was one who would always be careful, worried about the child's safety. बारिश में नहीं नहाना, नहीं तो सर्दी लग जाती है. So all of those things. And I was like, नहाओ यार, बारिश तो नहाने के लिए ही होती है.
Hmm.
So those tiny differences.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think parents can actually sit first. बहुत जरूरी तो वही है कि how parents are the parents partners aligned. They
Hmm.
need to sit and talk how what kind of life they wish to create for their kids, and create an environment of the right things in the house. If you don't want your child to eat unhealthy food, stop keeping such thing in the house. Automatically, it will become very limited. If you
Hmm.
want a child to be a reader, make a library area. Look at your segment behind it. So appealing, child will pick something.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I think environments can be created, but prior to that, one needs to sit and think what
Yeah.
really they wish to build.
Yeah. Yeah. And when years from now, when children who've been part of the hush tree look back, what do you hope they carry with them? Not just in terms of skills, but in how
Yeah.
they see themselves in the world.
Um, One, I think these kids should stand out.
Hmm.
I wish to hear one day that a parent or any person says, Are, is this child a part of this platform called the Hush Tree? Because his way of dealing with situations is so different. There is a way the child starts the day, there is a way the child ends the day. So it should be that prominent in the child's personality कि लोगों को पता ही चल जाए कि this child is different, this child is inspiring.
Hmm.
And the children, for children, they should they should be able to target bigger things
Hmm.
instead of taking care of the systematic admin things of their life, because this platform should take care of all the roots part, nurturing the roots of them so that now they can work on branches. They
Hmm.
can create as many flourishing branches as they want. We'll take care of the roots and soil.
I just had, the heaviest wave of goosebumps right now when you said this. This is so beautiful. I think that
Oh.
that articulation is so beautiful that they can flourish the branches and while you take care of the roots. It's
Yeah.
just so beautiful, Khushbu.
Thank you.
And before we close, I'd love to ask you one final question. If a parent is listening today and is feeling overwhelmed by the pace of modern parenting, because there is information coming at you from every angle, including this podcast, the pressure
Mhm.
to do everything right,
Hmm.
what would you tell them?
Um, I think if you take pressure in watching 100 things, the when you look for a certain thing online, your mind dictates on how you consume it. If your mind is already worried, stressed, or restless, है कि बच्चे को मैं कैसे करूँ, how do I raise this child? Then automatically you will gather a lot of information and become even more overwhelmed. But if you look at it like that, let's simplify the life at home.
Hmm.
What are the things that we are doing right now? Are so many elements important? What are the things that we really should be doing? The best thing to do anything to develop anything is family doing it all together.
Hmm.
It's for benefit of everyone. Benefit reading is going to benefit each member of the family, whether it is dadi or nani in the house. So just make sure as many essential things that can be developed. If there is a way you can develop it as a family, nothing more beautiful than that.
Hmm.
Parents often say that we don't get time. We have the luxury of our own work. So ऐसा होता है कि we can create
Yeah.
those moments, and my like we work from home also. तो हो जाता है. But I think if there is less time available, then probably don't do everything every day,
Hmm.
but do the essential things. If you do it as family, मैं एक एग्जांपल देती हूँ. अगर जैसे Tuesdays and Wednesdays are family reading time,
Hmm.
and 8:30 to 9:30 is when the whole family will bring their own books and सब लोग हम साथ में पढ़ेंगे. It
Hmm.
feels exciting to every member.
Yeah.
तो वो naturally बच्चे के अंदर बैठ जाएगा.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think creating those must fun wonderful setups in the house can ease a lot of things. Through the Hush Tree, what we are trying to do also is, of course, guide kids, but
Hmm.
also guide kids on creating those environments at home.
Hmm.
So if,
Hmm.
let's say, a parent is not clear or has a visibility on how to do it, the child can probably take that initiative कि mama every Saturday is going to be a documentary day, which
Hmm.
the whole family, no matter what, सबको साथ में ही देखनी है वो तो documentary.
Hmm.
तो ऐसे ऐसे moments बन जाएं in the family that the whole family flourishes together.
Hmm. Hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful. Khushbu, you told us, you said that you and your partner started with different parenting styles but are now converging beautifully. What helped you reach that place?
Um, I think he's the one who took the steps. I am walking the same path majorly. Um, we started differently in a manner that he was a little fussy about things.
Yeah.
I'm pretty chilled out as parent. So I think he started seeing the result of um, Earlier, he used to be worried about the safety of child related to different things, taking him to the um, me alone. I am taking the child alone to the park. There are so many cars. Don't take him to the road. There were so many things probably he had heard when he was a kid. ऐसा मत करो चोट लग जाएगी, नाइफ मत उठाओ चोट लग जाएगी, सिजर मत
Hmm.
खाओ, रात को बाहर मत जाओ ठंड लग जाएगी. So these are things that shape, that build the thinking process of everyone. The children raised that way say, feel that. I was completely of a different opinion, and now, since my child is 3.5 years old, and many a times I did completely opposite of how my husband was suggesting, which means when my child was 1.5 year old, I made sure he played a lot of fully, pura drenched he was. My husband kept saying कि बुखार हो जाएगा, he's just 1.5 or even lesser than that. And when he started seeing the results of my child enjoying, not really getting affected much, now he's one who also has started doing those
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
What I have done to converge to my husband's parenting style is in a lot of situations when I have stopped disagreeing in harmless situations.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I let him be worried or a little concerned or deal with the baby his way in situations that I find very harmless. So I kind of take the onus and my style of parenting in the major situations. And now he's also doing that. He loves Holi. He loves rains now. He lets he started doing adventure with our child.
Wow. Wow.
So yes,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that is how we have converged.
And what does equal parenting look like in your home?
When the child knows that there is no mama, there are two mamas, two papas, and he can call anyone for any work, knowing that both of them know that work. So, food
Hmm.
is something which both of us cook.
Hmm.
For the longest time, my child ate oats in the morning, milk oats. My husband made sure that the child eats an apple in the morning, and after that, he eats milk oats. That whole thing was my husband's responsibility. He did it. So I never worried about the breakfast of my baby. So yes, equal parenting in a manner that both of us are uh, capable of taking every aspect of our child's responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And this happened before the child came into the picture, or is it a new thing that you have started doing in your parenting journey?
Equal being equals at home.
Yeah.
I think um, credit to my mother-in-law also. Although my husband and my mother-in-law spent very less time together because he lived away from her during his earlier shaping up years, but still the environment in the house is such that there is no work that is considered low for a man.
Hmm. Hmm.
Quite
Yeah.
differently in Banya families, Agarwal families, and even in previous generation when women were taking care of the house, the man was taking care of everything outside. तो वो ऐसा नहीं था they disrespected each other, but there was a demarcation of the
Yeah.
role responsibility. My husband was always good at cooking. He always likes to keep his things neat and clean. So even prior to having the child, he was very good in the home chores.
Hmm.
And after the baby, it's just made everything very comfortable for both of us to do.
Yeah, yeah. And you've spoken about something that actually find very fascinating. You said that your families focus on building atomic habits. Can you tell us more what that means in your parenting philosophy?
What became the base of the hush tree is actually something that I find doing in our day-to-day life. So for our child, he's 3.5. A lot of times I get to hear that abhi tak isko a likhna nahi. I mean, those things people often say we haven't sent him to school yet. For
Hmm.
the longest time, we weren't thinking of sending, but thoda sa time ke liye ho sakta hai. We are now considering that decision.
Yeah, yeah.
but he doesn't know many of the things that are usual at this age. Line खींचनी आती है कि नहीं? No, he doesn't know. But what he knows is that morning walk is mandatory for him.
Hmm.
Brushing at night is something that comes naturally to him. There is a night routine that we've set, instilled in him so deep that there is this small kit which has a tiny ghee bottle that my child puts on lips, on his navel, a little bit in the nostrils. Then he brushes, come back, moisturizes, I mean, applies the night cream. And now, because he has been doing it for around 1.5 to 2 years, 3.5 year, 1.5, he must have been doing it. It's something that becomes, it comes very naturally.
Hmm.
Wherever we go, he says, Mama, night routine kit, kahan hai?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I feel very good that I've eased one part of his life. You know,
Yeah.
rubbing the feet at the bottom is something that massages the entire body. ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, you should rub your feet
Yeah.
at the bottom. That is something we've taught him to do. With him, we have also started building those habits. And for 1.5 years, हम पूरी लाइफ में नहीं कर पाए ये सारी नाइट रूटीन सेट अपना.
Yeah.
For last 1.5 years, it's worked for us also. We have started
Hmm.
doing these things. So yes, atomic habits are the is the key word in the house where we are trying to establish 10 minutes walk after every meal. वो छोटी छोटी चीजों पर ही we are focusing.
Hmm.
Nothing
Hmm.
fancy that helps us, that helps him.
Hmm. And how did you decide on that?
I think because uh, it was always in my mind, my husband is actually a combination of good habits.
Hmm.
So a lot of things that I try to guide kids on, my husband, because he lived a life where he had to take care of himself a lot of times, he has those qualities, waking up on time, taking a walk, a lot of these things. So those things came naturally to him. I was trying to develop, and I always felt those were very important.
Yeah.
So it became a no-brainer. एक चीज करी, saw the impact of it, brought in another.
Hmm.
Saw the result of it, brought in another. So now it's a combination of many tiny things in the house.
Yeah. 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 And does Udayan know what his mama does?
No, no, no. He knows Mama sits on laptop and does something. He's been to two school sessions with me,
Hmm.
but then in those sessions he was with my husband in the play zone of the school. So
Hmm.
he didn't get to know of what I did in the school with
Hmm.
the, so yeah.
But when he grows up, what do you want him to know that what does mama do? What do you want him to say when he is talking to his friends and or his teachers in the school, or if he goes to one, or friends in his neighborhood कि मम्मा ये करती है, मेरी मम्मा ये करती है. तो
I just wish that he says हम ये करते हैं.
अय
इसके अभी 2-3 साल बाद, because this work is not something which only adults can do. He can take up small activities. I really wish to involve him in every part of my work.
हम्म
So अभी I'm just waiting. Even now अभी अभी तो बहुत छोटा है, but I wish that he starts saying that and I involve him in as many things as possible. So these become the developmental factors for his life also.
Khushbu, thank you. Thank you for sharing your journey and for building something so thoughtful for children. I think spaces like the Hush Tree remind us that childhood doesn't have to be rushed. It can be intentional, reflective, and deeply meaningful. So, thank
Yes.
you for doing all that you do.
Most welcome. Yes.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us for this episode of Parenthood Spotlight. If this conversation resonated with you, please share it with another parent who might enjoy it. Follow the show, subscribe wherever you listen, and leave us a review. It helps these conversations reach more families. Until next time.
I would also like to speak about the podcast. I mean, yes, it's so raw, honest, warm place for, it didn't feel like there was a recording happening. It felt
Oh,
that we were talking, we were chit-chatting. These are very honest and beautiful space that you have created, Neha.
thank you. Thank you, Khushbu. It
Exactly
means
how I mean how I wish things to be calm. It feels like a very calm space to talk also. So
Thank you. That
beautiful.
means a lot. Thank you so much.
Most
And
welcome.
until next time, this is Neha Garg signing off. Take care and bye bye.